the building. You know what time it is. We're here on the Pewter and Red podcast, here with another live stream. Check it out, man. I want to apologize to all my subscribers, especially my new subscribers. We're at 251 or something like that, 251. We are slowly growing. We're going to keep it going. We're going to keep it rolling, keep it going, especially with you guys helping me out, sharing the channel on, your Facebook and your football groups, on Twitter, all your social medias. Share the streams, share the content, the YouTube channel, and continue to hit that like button because we're slowly growing, but we're gonna start picking it up. We're gonna start picking it up, guys. I'm gonna get back to doing more content on the channel and not just the weekends. Again, I had to slow down. 1 week I was sick. The next week my job kind of bombarded me because somebody at my job was not doing their job right and it was holding everybody back. And I had to get home from work and just go right to bed for like a whole week. So there's been like 2 weeks of no content except for the weekend. So I apologize, everybody, but we're going to get back on here. We're going to start coming on here and getting things taken care of so we could get on here and try to stream at least every other day. Today, we got a big stream. I wouldn't say a big stream, but it's an important stream. This stream is going to help us, guide us for the rest of the season. Before we do that, I've been trying to tell you guys to come on here, hit the phone lines, click on the link and come on here and talk with me, give your opinions and stuff like that. Well, some of you guys, it seems like a lot of you guys are shy to click on the link, maybe show your face or just talk on a live show. So I decided to bring back the phone lines. Yes, we are bringing back the phone line. If you see right there in the bottom, that is the hotline to the Pewter and Red podcast. You can call that number, 850-778-5282. Call that number, leave a message. Maybe you want to leave a rant after a bad game. Maybe you want to leave a big cheer after a big good game. Maybe you just got some opinions you want to talk about and you're a little too shy to come on live. Well, you can go on the hotline, call the hotline, and if you don't like the message, you can erase it and try it over again. That way, I know a lot of people don't like to talk live or get nervous about it. You can hit the hotline and you can practice and take how many takes you want to take about giving your opinions. I was thinking, right, for Victory Mondays, or if we lose a game, you can rant on it, and the next time we go live, I'll play them. But if we win on Victory Mondays, while we watch some of the game on Mondays, the Monday night games, we can play some of the hotline stuff during commercial and stuff like that. So I figured I'd bring back the hotline. So we got a new hotline number. Once again, it's 850. That's it right there on the bottom. 850-778-5282. Go ahead and hit that, guys. Whatever you want on that hotline, shout outs, all that good stuff. Remember, we're trying to keep it a family-friendly show, so keep the bad language to a very minimum if you can do that. Now, today what we are doing is we're talking about the NFC and the NFC team tiers. We're going to give a pyramid, and we're going to break down the teams in the NFC and where I have them. I do not like, and I've said this a few times, I do not like to rank things. I don't like to be like, oh, this is the best wide receiver. This is the number one wide receiver. This is the number one quarterback. This is the number two quarterback. This is the number 3, number 4 quarterback. The more and more I've gone into football and broken down film and different stuff like that, the more I've realized it's really foolish to try to rank teams, try to rank quarterbacks, trying to rank whatever position. It is more efficient and more realistic, more importantly, to rank them in tiers instead of numbers. So that's what we're going to do in today's live stream. We're going to rank the NFC teams in the tiers. And as you can see here, we got the bad, we got average, we got good, we got great, and then we got the elite teams. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to go ahead and show you where I'm ranking these teams in the tiers for this year so far. Off of 2 weeks, this is what we're doing. I will give my explanations, and we'll talk a little bit about the gray areas, I should say, because there are gray areas. Real quick, before we do that, let's go ahead and give a shout out to Boats in the building. Let's go ahead and give a shout out to Gaming Wizard in the building. You guys do me a favor, let me know if my audio is too low, if you guys can barely hear me. Let's get some rhythm going in the background as well. Let's get ticker going underneath. All right, so let's start with the bottom tier. What is that? 1, 2, 3, 4. Tier 5. But Crazy is in the building. Let's start off with the bottom tier, tier 5. With that said, these are the teams on the bottom tier. Yes, we have the New York Giants, the Chicago Bears, the Arizona Cardinals, and the Atlanta Falcons. Now, right off the back, I know some of you guys might be thinking, how can you have Atlanta Falcons down there? They're 2-0. This ain't rankings. This ain't power rankings. This ain't none of that. I am basing this off of the teams that I see, how I see that team ending up at the end of the season. Even though the Falcons are 2-0, I do not see them as a good team. I think they're a bad team. I think they will be towards the bottom of the NFL when it comes to the record. They're going to be one of the teams that people are going to want to play to try to get a dub. Now you're probably wondering, well, where's the Panthers? I don't see the Panthers, and you said the Panthers are one of the worst teams. Well, the Panthers are right there. They're not even in the bad area. They're outside the bad area. They're by themselves. I know this is hard for Panther fans to understand this, but when you get better, because this is only week 2, I think almost every team is going to get a little better. They're going to be able to connect a little better. They're going to be able to, click and have a little bit of better chemistry as the season goes on. But even when that's all said and done, the Panthers at the most will end up in this area, in the bad area. Right now, they're outside the bad area. And the reason why I put them outside the bad area, which is even worse, is because they can't even compete. That's not a competing football team right there. I do not think, as of right now, the way they're playing, I don't think there is one team that they can beat in the NFL. Right now, the way they're playing. Their team is so bad. They got no weapons, right? Their weapons is really bad. They can't get separation. Not only that, the play calling and the play designs are terrible from the head coach. Not only that, they have a rookie quarterback that's struggling. He's holding on to the ball too long. He's inaccurate with his passes right now. All that stuff. There's a lot. The chemistry is not there. There's a lot of bad going on with the Panthers right now. And there's a lot of things that can be fixed. The chemistry could get better, right? The Bryce could maybe get a little bit better with his time in the pocket and throwing the football and not holding on to the ball. He could get better with the chemistry with his wide receivers. He might be able to get better with the accuracy. I'm pretty sure he will next year, but he might be able to get better with the accuracy this year, like in the middle of the season or towards the end. I'm not sure. But even with all that being done, right, that could happen in the middle of the season, they're still going to have trash weapons, and they're still going to struggle, and they're still going to end up at the farthest in this bad section right here, somewhere around here. But until they do that, they're going to be right there. They're going to stay. They're not going to be even competitive to any team at all. The only chance that they can have of getting into this red and maybe hitting that orange is if they hurry up and fire Frank Wright and they let another coach take over, because Frank Wright is not the guy. He is terrible. Let's get to the Giants. The Giants have a chance of getting into the orange and being an average team, but it's going to take a lot of work. It's going to take a lot of work. And I think it's going to take a lot of luck. And I just think the luck ran out after last year. I think Daboll could be a good coach. I think he did a heck of a job last year with what he had. And I think he made the mistake of keeping Daniel Jones and not trying to get a different quarterback. I think he made the mistake of feeling like, well, I was able to do it with last year's team and not have to shake up that team enough. And, you know, they got some new pieces. Waller is a huge piece. But I think a lot of teams in the NFL has figured out how he was winning games. Not what he was trying to do, but how he was winning games. And I think a lot of teams are game planning against him now, as far as not allowing him to sneak by the first 3 quarters and winning the game in the fourth quarter. I think a lot of teams are going to take notice of how he did that last year, and it's going to be a big hill battle for the Giants. Again, there are some teams down here with them that they can beat, that they'll have a fair match, and there might be a team or two that they might have a chance in the average spot. Now, where I have these teams ranking does not mean that a team down here can't beat a team up here, right? It all depends on matchups. But the higher the ranking goes, the higher the hill is that they're going to have to overcome. But I'm going to try to break down as many as I can with the teams. The Chicago Bears, they're just staying right here. There's no way Chicago Bears are going into average. They're going to pretty much just stay right here in the bad. And I think out of all these teams, I feel like Chicago Bears is the worst out of everybody that's in the red here. I think Chicago is the worst team. I'm going to be honest with you guys. Arizona Cardinals, they might be able to be average. I'm not quite sure. I really haven't paid attention to Arizona. Everybody is saying that they're the worst team or the worst roster in the NFL, so I just put them down here. Arizona Cardinal fans, do not be mad at me if your team is better than just being bad. I'm going to just be honest and say that I put you guys down here because this is what everybody's saying about you guys, and I really haven't paid attention to you guys, to be honest. Plus, I seen the Giants, and you guys just lost to the Giants, so I'm putting you down here. Atlanta Falcons. Let's get to the Atlanta Falcons, the one team that probably everybody's going to disagree with me and be like, no, they're 2-0. Listen, I seen their quarterback. I knew what their quarterback was. The quarterback already showed us what he is. I knew how they're going to try to win games, and I don't believe that they're going to win a lot of games with that offense and that team. I also do not believe in that defense. For some reason, let me not say for some reason. Right now, the stats are looking good for the Falcons and the Saints defensively, and I am not buying into either one of them at all. I see the teams that they played, and I seen the offense that they went against, and I am not buying it at all. So that defense, a lot of people might think that they're average because of that defense, or even maybe a good team because of that defense, and I completely disagree. The Falcons are going to have to prove to me. And to be honest, I thought that Packers game was going to prove to me. I said to myself, if they beat the Packers, then maybe I'll give them a little bit of respect. And they beat the Packers, and to be honest, I wasn't that high on the Packers either. Even though they beat the Bears the way they beat the Bears, I wasn't really convinced with the Packers either. And at the end of that game, I was just like, I still can't believe them. I still cannot believe the Falcons. So these are the tiers of the bad team. Let's get to the average team. Washington Commanders, Green Bay Packers, and the New Orleans Saints. Let's start with the Washington Commanders. The Washington Commanders, I believe, is a team that can transition into good. Maybe even great if they hit one of those magical seasons. I think their quarterback is holding them back. Or at least in my opinion, I'm not a believer because I'm not a believer in their quarterback yet. I do believe in their weapons, and I do believe that they could get a defense. I do believe in Ron Rivera and having a good defensive team. So really, I just have to be a believer in Sam Howell, and I almost did put them in good. I'm not going to lie. I almost did put them in good, and maybe sometime during the season, we come back to this chart and we might switch them and put them in the good area. But this is pretty much the only team I can see maybe moving out of average, putting them into good. The Green Bay Packers. Jordan Love is pretty much the big question mark here. I've never been a believer in the Green Bay Packers defense, especially when Aaron Rodgers was here. I always felt like the NFL sucked off the defense when they never really had a real defense. It was pretty much Aaron Rodgers. Green Bay Packers start off their year without Aaron Rodgers and with Jordan Love, and they end up pretty much kind of looking like Aaron Rodgers didn't make a difference. I will admit it. It did look like that. But once again, they started off with the Bears, and then their second game was the Falcons. So not much pressure on Jordan Love. And even though there wasn't much pressure on Jordan Love, especially with the Bears, let me just talk about the Bears real quick. Justin Fields is just blind out there. He just cannot see the field. And that offense is supposed to be deadlier than the Giants, the Cardinals, the Falcons, and especially the Panthers. That offense can easily turn on and be deadlier than all those offenses. It's just up to Justin Fields. And it's not looking like how blind he is just not looking like Justin Fields is going to be able to do that. But all it takes is that light bulb to turn on, and that offense could be a lot better than all these other teams, and they can go from the worst bad team to the best bad team. But they're still going to be a bad team because their defense is trash. But Packers played the Bears, and they played the Falcons. The Bears didn't give Jordan Love any type of pressure. The Falcons barely gave Jordan Love some pressure, and they folded at the end. So that's why I am not going to put them in good. I am not a believer in them going to the good area. Could there be a chance that they end up in the good area? Yeah, there's a chance. I would believe more likely that the Commanders will end up in the good more than I would believe the Green Bay Packers will end up in the good. I don't think they're going to be able to convince me and get out of this average area here. But we'll see as the season continues to go on. They'll play other teams. They'll give me some more opinions to look at. Let's get to the last team that's average. The New Orleans Saints. The New Orleans Saints is as average as it can get. Here's the truth. I really, really, really wanted to put the New Orleans Saints down here with the bad teams, with the Falcons. I really do. The game that they had against the Carolina Panthers was pathetic. They had a game against the Tennessee Titans, and that was pathetic, but I chalked it up as week one. It is what it is. Everyone's kind of, having struggles or whatever. Once I saw them against the Carolina Panthers, I said, okay, this team could be trash too. this team actually might be bad. There's only one reason why I have not put the New Orleans Saints in the bad area. First of all, the New Orleans Saints defense, I don't know where this is coming from, but I've seen a couple of videos today of reporters and media like Dan Orlovsky, I believe it was. No, it wasn't Dan Orlovsky. It was another dude. It was the black dude talking about this Saints defense can be historically good. And I'm like, what? This might be, the Saints defense might be the most overrated defense in the NFL right now, the way people are talking about them. I do not believe in the D-line. I think the D-line is average. I think Cameron Jordan is old and washed up already. I think Breeze is, their rookie is decent, and that's pretty much it. I think their D-line's overrated. I think their corners are overrated. I think Tyrann Mathieu is good, but I've always thought Demario Davis is overrated. He's not Levante. He's not Devin. I've always thought he was overrated. Not to say that he sucks or he's bad, but the way they talk to him like he's on Levante or Devin White's level, and he is not. He is not. Every time we play the Saints, he might get a tackle, by the line of scrimmage, 1 or 2. You know what I'm saying? Maybe. And that's it. You don't really hear from the guy. Levante David, they're getting sacks. They're getting tackled for losses. They're batting down passes. Like, you hear all kind of, anyways, overrated. Been overrated. It's super overrated even now. The only reason why I'm not putting them in the bad area because their offense is horrendous. Michael Thomas is done. He was done last year. He's done this year. He cannot route run. He cannot move. He cannot move. Olave is decent. I think he's a little bit like Chris Godwin. He has hands like Chris Godwin. He can't route run as good as Chris Godwin, but he's faster than Chris Godwin. So I think he's like in that same level as Chris Godwin, maybe a little level down. Rashid, I mean, he's super fast. We'll see him growing into the offense. They got Taysom Hill. Nothing special to me. We take care of that. But Derek Carr is not looking good, not connecting with his wide receivers. And if Derek Carr wasn't a veteran, if I didn't believe in Derek Carr, I wouldn't be giving him so many chances. But because I do believe in Derek Carr, I do think Derek Carr is a top 10, at minimum top 15 type of quarterback. I'm not going to put them in the bad yet. I'm going to still believe that there is some chance that Derek Carr can really get it together and be able to actually have a decent enough. I don't think they'll ever be good offensively because, again, Olave is their best weapon. Michael Thomas is going to take up space, and they're really hesitating to get Rashid in there and use him as a factor. So I think this offense at best is going to be average. Right now it's trash, but I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt that as the veteran Carr continues on, they start clicking a little bit and they'll even out as an average team. But I really want to pull them down and bring them into bad, because I put it like this: that offense doesn't get any better. The Falcons can beat them. The Falcons can beat them. If that offense doesn't get any better, if they don't start clicking soon, if that offense don't start clicking by the time they play the Falcons will beat them. The Giants will beat them. The Cardinals might beat them. Might. If Justin Fields continues, the Bears can't beat him. The Packers, even though I have the Packers in average, Packers are going to be hard. It's a bad matchup. For the Packers. The Commanders can beat the Saints though, for sure. But that's where I feel at that level. Let's bring it back a little bit. Rashad West in the building. Yes, they are bad. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, if you want to call in, you can call in and give your opinions on the show. You can call in, give a shout out to your favorite team. You can call in and rant about your team if you're mad. You can call in and just say what's up to the show. Give your opinions about the show. Whatever you want to do. There's a new hotline because people are scared to come in live. So there is a new hotline. The hotline is the number right there, 850-778-5282. That is the hotline. You can call in. You can leave a message. You can delete it if you don't like it and retry it. That way you guys don't have to be nervous. Give a shout out and leave a voicemail and we will play it. Let's go to the good category. These are the good categories. We have the Minnesota Vikings. Oh, what are you doing? Minnesota Vikings are 0-2. Well, they played the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and they played the Eagles. I think the Minnesota Vikings are a really good team. In the beginning, I would have even said they're close to being great. There's a lot of problems going on. They need to get their stuff together, and what I mean is just individuals. As far as the offense is clicking. You know, they can run a little bit. They can definitely pass. I think the defense in Brian Flores is decent. It could be scary at times. I think Brian Flores might need to just dial it down of the aggressiveness a little bit sometimes, depending on the team that they're playing. And if they can do that, I think this team is definitely. I think this team is good, but I think this team could have a chance of being great. Now, the way that season is feeling right now, the way everyone is like fumbling the ball and just so many bad things are happening. Again, it's not the execution. The execution is they're executing fine, right? The team is not having problems executing. The team is having problems holding on to the ball or just shooting themselves in the foot with dumb mistakes. That's their problem. That can be fixed. But there's no way I can, with all that happening right now, there's no way I can put them in the great area right now. And they're just way too talented, and they're executing as a football team way too good to put them in average. They would whip on, well, maybe the Commanders, because again, the Commanders is kind of toting that line, but everybody else underneath them, they will not be able to beat the Vikings. Saints, Packers, Giants, Bears, Cardinals, Panthers, or Falcons. None of them will be able to beat the Vikings. Let's go to the Lions. The Lions started off, felt like they might be a great team. Well, they just lost to Seattle. So that's gonna bring them. For me, it's gonna bring them down to the good level. They had a lot of hype. They had a lot of momentum after that week 1. I had to bring them down yet because one, they're the Lions. I do like them. I do think they've gotten better. They are a good team. They're not a slouch. They're not a team that you want to go play. They can beat you if you're not on your A game. But they have to show me that they can consistently win before I put them in the great. This is probably the biggest wild card team in the NFC for me, because I can see them shooting up to be great. I can see them falling down to be average. So right now, I'm just going to keep them in good, and we're going to keep an eye on the Lions and see where that plays out. Next is the Seattle Seahawks. Seattle Seahawks is another team. I don't think they're going to be average. I think they're going to be a good team. They're always well coached. They can have a game where they look like trash, and then they can have a game where they look like they can beat anybody. Can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me? I lost some internet connection. Can you guys hear me? Let me know if you guys can hear me or not, please. Before we continue. Okay, thank you. what was I saying? Seattle. So yes, Seattle. I really don't see them going to great. They're gonna have a hill to climb, especially since the division they're in right now. But I do see them staying in good. I think this is just because, again, their coaching is gonna keep them competitive. Their coaching staff seems to keep them competitive, so that's why I have them at good. Last but definitely not least, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I think we have one of the most talented rosters in the league. This is why I felt like we had a good chance of winning the division. The only one I was worried about was the New Orleans Saints. Offensively, defensively being pretty good. I never thought that they can be as good as our defense, but thought that they can be pretty good. And offensively, I actually thought they could be maybe as good as us offensively, just because of quarterback play. I thought we have better weapons, but they have a better quarterback, and that kind of evens out, and we kind of stick around the same area of offensively. But that doesn't seem to be the case. Baker Mayfield is playing just a little better than what I thought. But the thing is, the way Baker's playing, I kind of feel like he can play even better. I feel like we haven't reached the mountaintop of our offense yet. So because of that, I feel like we could break and be in that great area. We should be in that great area because of our defense. But I'm not going to put us there yet. I got to wait for Baker and this offense to do their part and show me consistency with the offense before I put them in this great area. And the first step and the biggest step will be Monday against the Eagles. Let's get to the comment section real quick. Amazement in the building. ATL and the Saints because of Falcons run game. Neither team is that good though. The Falcons run game is the biggest reason why I have them in bad. It's not because their run game is not good. It's because they are entirely dependent on that run game. And I just don't think that run game is good enough to get them a lot of wins. They are entirely dependent on the run game. It would be one thing if they were their team and then, they had like a Justin Fields or any other quarterback. I mean, Ritter might be the worst quarterback in the NFL. I'm trying to think who would be worse than Ritter. Like, even Dobbs is better. Ritter has to be the worst quarterback in the NFL. So they're solely dependent on the run game, and that's why I have them in bad. If it wasn't for that, I'd have the Falcons up there with at average as well. If it wasn't for that. Amazement says, I think both Falcons and Saints lose this week. Bucks winning on Monday Night Football would be huge. Yes. Funny how the national media is yapping about how Field stinks instead of how well Bucks have looked. Typical. It's because on tape, the reason why is because on tape you're seeing a lot of reads that Justin Fields is missing. Some of them are wide open. Some of them are kind of like, but they're just seeing the tape is showing a lot of reads that Justin Fields missing, and that's why they're really looking at it like, man, Justin's doing bad. Zach Wilson is not worse than Ritter. Zach Wilson can win. If Ritter can win, Zach Wilson can win. Again, they're asking Zach Wilson to actually play quarterback. They're not asking they're barely asking Ritter to throw the ball. Barely. Justin Fields is not as bad as Ritter. Again, he's missing a lot of things, but when he throws the ball, you're like, yeah, just do that more. Ritter is the worst quarterback. Uh, like cards and bears are bad. Bookship, great class. Pyramid is good so far. All right, so let's get to the greats. Who are in the greats? Oh, this is where I start feeling nasty. The Eagles and the Rams. All right, this is probably these last two areas are a big gray area for me, because I think the Eagles and the Rams can both fall in the good. I think the Eagles and the Rams can both fall up into the elite. As of right now, I got the Rams in great. I got to watch the Rams a little bit more, but they kind of look like they're back. As long as they got Stafford, they kind of look like they're deadly again. And the Eagles got a mean roster. And to be honest with you guys, that is the only reason why they're in great. Because to be 1,000% honest with you guys, Jalen Hurts has not been looking good. This is the reason why I went from we're probably going to lose to, you know what, we actually have a good shot on Monday night to play this game, to win this game. Now, I'm not going to go over it. I'm not going to go over this game Monday night because we got another live stream for that. But Jalen Hurts has not looked good. In his first two games, Jalen Hurts has not looked good. If it wasn't for his O-line punking the Vikings with the run game, they would have been dead in the waters, and the Vikings would have won that game. Jalen Hurts is lucky that O-line was punking the Vikings D-line and just ran up their face. Because if they weren't able to run the ball, Jalen Hurts was not moving that ball. Jalen Hurts was struggling. He had one good pass when once again, what's his name? Brian Flores was being aggressive and sent zero blitz. And the thing was, it's okay to send zero blitz, but he was sending zero blitz a lot. And finally, Jalen Hurts saw it one time and actually threw it down the field, and it was a touchdown. So he had a pass like that. But it was pretty much like, bro, you should have had that. Jalen Hurts was kind of on his Justin Fields tip, where it's like he's kind of not seeing the field good. And he's kind of hesitating to throw the ball. And he's kind of jumping too fast to run with the ball. I really wanted to put the Eagles in the good area. I really did. And I will tell you guys right now, Monday night, whatever happens Monday night, we might see the Eagles move and we might see the Buccaneers move. It all depends on Monday night. Now, that doesn't mean if we win, I'm going to put us in great and Eagles in good, right? It depends on how the game goes. We could lose. No, we can't lose. I'm not going to lose and then put us in great. But we can win and I still feel like we're just good. We're not great yet. Right? So it depends on how the game goes, depending on how I move, if I move these two pieces. But that Monday night game is going to say a lot for how I feel about these two teams, about the Eagles and the Bucks. The Rams, I do feel like they're a dangerous team. I do feel they definitely gave the 49ers a run for their money. So I do feel like they should. I wanted to put them in good because I don't feel like they've proven anything to be in great yet. But when I look at the tier of good, it's hard for me to say I see the Bucks beating the Rams because that's kind of our kryptonite, low key a little bit, right? I don't see the Detroit Lions beating the Rams. The Seahawks are division, but I kind of feel like the Rams might be a little bit more dangerous right now, but that could switch. And the way the Minnesota Vikings are kind of shooting themselves in the foot, I don't see them beating the Rams either. So If I could, I would put the Rams in the middle between the good and the great. But, we're putting them in tiers, so I just threw them in great until they switch or mess up or change my mind. And that's how we're gonna do that. We're gonna leave them there. Let's go to some of these comments. Eagles barely first two teams. Baker looks better than Jalen Hurts. Rams are average to good to me. All right, facts. Eagles run game won't work Monday against the Bucs defense. I know it won't. How about the elite class? Well, let's get to the elite class. I really hate to do this. I really hate to show this elite. Hell is freezing over. Hell is freezing over to show this elite. And I'm more than sure I have a fan or two of one of these teams that is watching this stream, and they're going to be like, say it, because they don't see their team yet. But let's get to it. It is the San Francisco 49ers, and I can't believe I'm saying this. The Dallas Cowboys. Let me start off with the 49ers. The 49ers is not so much a surprise to a lot of people. Most of the people figured it's the 49ers and the Eagles in the offseason. Again, the Eagles really have let me down. I in the offseason, I had marked this game Monday night as a L. And after seeing the Eagles the first 2 weeks, I said, you know what? I'm kind of not scared at all at the Eagles. At all. I'm not scared at all. Like, I kind of, I don't want to get into that because that's another stream. But the 49ers have stayed to where we believe the 49ers would be. Offense in the Kyle Shanahan can run the ball, throw the ball. They still look deadly offensively. Brock Purdy looks like he picked up where he left off. In fact, he looks like he got better, more comfortable, all of that. Their defense, I'm still not how do I say this? I don't want to seem like a hater. I do respect their D-line, right? I do respect their front seven. I don't respect their secondary at all. But with their front seven mixed in with their offense that kind of forces you to have to take chances and throw down the field, which the Buccaneers are a team that has benefited from that before. Having a high-powered offense forces the opposing team to have to take a lot of risk and try to keep up and score with you, makes them take a lot more chances, which gives a lot more interceptions and turnovers for your defense, which makes your secondary look better. That's what I believe is going on with the San Francisco 49ers. So they are the elite team right now in the NFC, as well as the Dallas Cowboys. I cannot believe. Do I have a boo, you suck? Do I have one of those? No, I don't. Well, I'm definitely. I don't have a boo, you suck. But yeah, it's terrible. I don't know how this happened, but the Dallas Cowboys are an elite team right now. Let's break that down real quick. The Dallas Cowboys defense, and I'm hoping I'm wrong. I'm hoping I'm jumping on a bandwagon way too fast. But the defense looks very scary. The defense looks very scary for the Dallas Cowboys. They have good corners. They have decent safety. Their inside linebackers are kind of whatever, but their outside linebackers and D-line is no joke. It is no joke. I was hoping that Micah Parsons would be another Vic Beasley, but he is not. He is the real deal. I've accepted it. He is the real deal. Not only that, but I do believe that Dan Quinn did learn from the mistake of Vic Beasley, of what he did with Vic Beasley, and why he lost a weapon in Vic Beasley. I think he did learn from that, and he's not making the same mistake with Micah Parsons. That, and I do believe Micah Parsons is just obviously a better talent than Vic Beasley. He is just in his bag this year, and he is just nasty. But that is not why I am putting the Dallas Cowboys in the elite category. That alone would have me put them in the great category, because they're the Dallas Cowboys. They're gonna find a way to mess up. It's the Dallas Cowboys. So I should put them in the great area. But, and I need a close-up for this. This is why I am going to put them in the elite category. Because of their offense. Beautiful. Am I saying that their offense is elite? No, not even close. Not even close. The reason why I am putting them in the elite tier because of their offense is because the offense is playing their role. They are finally playing their role. Being more specific, Dak Prescott is playing his role. Okay? This was the problem with them last year. All right? Dak Prescott wanted to come back from injury and say, yes, I'm the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys. Let me lead this team now that we have a good defense. That was the mistake. Dallas Cowboys were more effective and more consistent as a team when Cooper Kupp was the quarterback. Why is that? Because Cooper Kupp knew his role. Cooper Kupp came in and said, I'm not trying to be Dak. I'm not trying to lead this offense or this team. I'm just trying to do my part. Dak Prescott came in and said, I want to lead this team. I want to be a part of this, what we got going on. And because he was trying to do that and trying to be a part of it, messed up a few games. Mike McCarthy, and I will give him, again, I can't believe that RTP is resorting into saying this, but whatever. Mike McCarthy is finally being a smart coach and using that offense, and Dak Prescott is knowing his role. And they've taken a back seat and let the defense do the driving. And as long as they do that, there shouldn't be any upsets. That's not to say that they're not going to lose, right? They're going to lose games. There's a lot of good teams in the NFL. It's the NFL any given Sunday. But as long as Dak and that offense plays their role and doesn't try to lead the team, unless, the defense is not having one of those games and, hey, we need you to lead us, then, hey, go out there and try to do that. But as long as Dak continues to play his role and that offense plays their role and they allow this team to be driven by the defense, this team, I think, will be consistent and they'll stay in that elite category. And that's just how I feel about the NFL right now, because if I think about it, the Rams might be able to beat the 49ers. Eagles might be able to beat the 49ers. I don't think the Vikings have the defense to beat the 49ers. Seahawks can beat the 49ers, because that's division as well. I think we have the defense to beat the 49ers, and again, if our offense is good enough to throw us maybe up there in the great, you know what I'm saying? If we're still a good team, I don't think we could beat the 49ers. But if I feel like our offense has jumped up enough to where I feel like we might be able to be in the great tier, then we can beat the 49ers. Commanders, Packers, Saints, none of these teams can beat the 49ers. Cowboys. Maybe the 49ers can beat them. That's a wash, I believe. I don't think the Eagles can beat. The Cowboys. Maybe the Rams can beat the Cowboys. definitely the Vikings. It's a bad mismatch for them. Vikings won't beat the Cowboys. The Lions won't beat the Cowboys. Seahawks won't beat the Cowboys. And again, I hate to say it. I won't say we can't because that's my team. But man, you know what? I would say I want to say it's a bad mismatch, but I won't say that yet. It depends. This Eagles game is such a big game for us because it's going to tell us a lot. It's going to tell us about Baker, and it's going to tell us about our O-line. And if we can survive this D-line, then I feel like we might have a chance against the Cowboys. But if this D-line kills us, then I feel like the mismatch will be too big against the Cowboys. So that really, we're going to find out a lot about this Tampa team Monday night. We're going to find out a lot about that team. Again, I don't want to go too much into that game because we're going to have a live stream maybe tomorrow or what's today? Tuesday? Tomorrow's Wednesday. So maybe tomorrow, if not Thursday, we'll see. But we're going to definitely have a live stream about that game. Let's get into the conversation. Let's see. Rob Thompson in the building. Do me a favor, guys. Once again, do not forget to hit that like button. Also, show love by hitting the like button and sharing the channel. We're growing. We're going to keep it going. We're going to get into more content. We'll bring some more content out on this channel. And don't forget, we got the brand new hotline now open now. 850-778-5282. That's the hotline right there. A lot of people don't like to call in and, speak live. So you can hit the hotline out and leave a voicemail. You can leave a voicemail, a rant, a shout out to your team, a shout out to the channel, whatever you want to leave. If you don't like what you left, hit the button, delete it, and try again. That way you don't have to be nervous about being on here live. Just call the hotline. Let's get some more content. I want you guys to interact more with this channel. Rob Thompson says, I can't wait to see us beat 3-0. Leesman says, I know that feeling, RTP. I got a family full of them fans. Yeah. We're Chiefs or Bengals or Ravens. This is only the NFC. This is only the NFC or Browns. I haven't paid too much attention to the AFC. I'm pretty much paying attention to the NFC, but I will say this, if I could do that quickly. I'm going to be honest, man. Again, as much as I hate to say it, the only team that's elite right now is the Miami Dolphins. That offense is just, the Miami Dolphins is literally the Cowboys, but opposite. Miami Dolphins is literally the Cowboys, but opposite. And then under them, I think is, does it matter? You got the Bills, the Chiefs, who else? Chargers. They're all not playing good football. Who is really playing good football in the AFC right now? You guys answer that. Dolphins are the only ones playing good football. Technically the Chargers, but they have a dumb coach. They're gonna lose a lot of games because of that coach. I don't know. I don't know who else is playing decent football. The Dolphins are literally the only team I think in the AFC playing decent football. It doesn't even matter after that. And again, I can't believe I'm saying it, but that's just what it looks like. It's different this year. He didn't do AFC yet. Thought do all combined. Nope. Surprised did not AFC and NFC together. He'll probably do AFC in another video. We will see week 5 when Dallas plays Niners. Both should be undefeated when they play too. Yeah, it's going to be a good game. Actually, it might not be a good game. I'll explain that week, though. A bunch of average in the AFC so far. That's what I thought. I felt I'm trying to think. I can't think of anyone in the AFC where I'm like, oh, watch out for them. Everybody in the AFC is looking okay at best. The Dolphins are the only ones that look dangerous. Everybody else is they look okay, and then the rest of them look like you're not looking good. So I really don't know. I mean, including the Chiefs. The Chiefs look okay. So yeah, it's weird. AFC, that slot is crowded, except Dolphins. Ravens are good too. I'll put them up there. Chiefs look a little shaky. Ravens, actually, I'm hearing, I haven't watched them, but I'm hearing that, I mean, like the outcome is good, but the execution is not good. That's what I'm hearing. Again, I haven't watched the Ravens, so I can't act like I know, but that's what I've been hearing in the Twitter streets, is that the production at the end of the game is good, but the execution is not pretty at all. So I don't know. But yeah, we're already going to be at an hour. That's going to be the stream for today. Cali Bucks in the building. Rams are great with no defense. I mean, again, I look at the Rams and it's hard for me to see a lot of teams. But again, I've explained it earlier how I feel about the Rams. If you missed it, replay the live stream. We're going to go ahead and get out of here. We got... I mean, that's it for today, man. Shaman RTP, Skull Gang in the building. Once again, I appreciate everybody coming out on this live stream again. Hit the like button, shows love. Do not forget to do that. Do your part, please. We're growing little by little. We're going to keep growing. And I'm going to bring out more content. I'm going to get home, take care of business, and jump on the live stream and come out with more content even when I'm tired. What else did I want to say? I mean, that's pretty much it. Don't forget the new hotline, 850-778-5282. Go ahead and call it. Leave a voicemail so we can have some voice messages. Oh, that reminds me. You can leave voice messages like this.
It's me, homie. Pick up the phone, or I smack you.
Or you can leave messages like this.
Yeah, when I find you, it's a wrap, homie. I'll take you all the way out. You know what I'm saying?
Or you can leave a message like this.
Oh, you think this a game? Oh, you thought this was... I know where you live. I'm coming. Pause.
But yeah, those are voice messages. So all you got to do is call the hotline, leave a voice message. You can always delete it and try it again if you don't like what you said. I know a lot of you guys are a little nervous to come on here live. So I opened up the hotline so you guys can call the hotline now and leave messages at the end of the game. Maybe you watch the game, and I'm not live streaming or something and you got something on your chest. Call the hotline. You can rant about it. You can cheer about it. You can give your team a shout out. You can give the stream a shout out. You could give the channel a shout out.
Google Voice gives you a single phone number that rings all of your phones.
Whatever you want to do. Once again, hotline 850-778-5282. Hit that up. I will see you guys next time I see you guys. Your man RTP, Skull Gang in the building. And remember, it is Peter and Red till we cold and dead. I'll see you guys next time, dupes.